If you love sensual billionaire romances where intimacy simmers beneath restraint and desire hides in quiet routines, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell so you never miss a new story. I only agreed to the job because it's temporary. 1 month. That's what the contract says. 30 days of private meal preparation, strict confidentiality, no social obligations, no personal involvement. Live-in accommodation provided. High pay. No renewals implied. That's the part one cling to as the gates slide open and the car pulls into the long, winding driveway of the estate perched above the city like it's watching everything below. This isn't a house. It's a statement. Glass, stone, and silence. Minimalist in a way that feels intentional rather than empty. Everything designed to function perfectly without inviting anyone to stay too long, including me. The house manager greets me politely and leads me through halls that smell faintly of cedar and citrus. My kitchen for the next month is immaculate. Professional-grade appliances. No clutter. No warmth. You'll cook breakfast and dinner, she says. Lunch is optional. He rarely eats it. That's all anyone calls him. I'm unpacking my knives when I feel it. Someone watching. I turn. He stands in the doorway, tall and still, wearing dark trousers and a white shirt rolled at the forearms. White. Mid-30s. Dark blonde hair slightly tousled in a way that feels unstyled on purpose. His eyes cool gray don't roam. They settle. Miss Hart, he says calmly. You're earlier than expected. I like kitchens quiet, I reply. Something like approval flickers briefly across his face. I'm Adrian Vale, he says. I won't interfere with your work. Good, I say. I won't interfere with your life. A pause. Then, that's efficient. He leaves without another word. The first dinner is simple. Roasted fish. Seasonal vegetables. Balanced. Neutral. He eats in silence across the long dining table. Posture composed, movements precise. He doesn't look at me often, but when he does, it's like he's memorizing something rather than judging it. You don't overseason, he says finally. I don't hide flavors, I reply. That earns me another pause. A longer one. You can eat, he says. I already did. His gaze sharpens slightly. In my kitchen. Yes. Something in his expression shifts, not irritation. Interest. The days settle into rhythm. Morning prep. Dinner service. Clean lines. No conversation beyond what's necessary. But I notice things. He drinks black coffee at exactly 6:30. He never eats red meat. He stops chewing if I speak while he's tasting something, like he doesn't want distraction when he's paying attention. And he notices me too. The way I hum quietly while chopping. The way I taste everything twice. The way I never sit while working. You don't rest, he says one evening. I do, I reply. Just not when I'm being watched. His eyes lift. You think I watch you? I know you do. Silence stretches between us. Heavy but not uncomfortable. I watch people when they matter, he says evenly. And I don't. I ask. He doesn't answer. The first crack appears halfway through the second week. I'm cooking later than usual when a storm rolls in without warning. Thunder rattles the windows. The power flickers once, then steadies. I inhale sharply before I can stop myself. He notices. You don't like storms, he says. I'm fine. You stopped breathing, he replies calmly. I keep my focus on the pan. It passed. He doesn't push. He just stays in the kitchen longer than usual that night, standing near enough that his presence feels grounding. After that, he adjusts things. The lights are warmer during storms. The blinds are closed earlier. Music plays softly from hidden speakers when the weather turns. He never mentions it. The third week is harder. The closeness settles in, not physical but constant. Shared space. Shared silence. Shared awareness. One night I cook something richer than usual. Comfort food. Slow simmered. Intimate. He eats slower than normal. This, he says quietly, feels intentional. It is. For me. For tonight, I reply. He studies me across the table. Expression unreadable. You cook like you're listening. I am. To what? I hesitate. To what people don't say. That night, he doesn't leave the table immediately after eating. He pours 2 glasses of wine and slides one toward me. I don't drink with staff, he says. I don't drink with employers, I reply. A beat. Then don't, he says, taking his glass back. I stop him. But I will. We stand near the window instead of sitting. City lights flicker below, distant and unreal. You're not what I expected, he says. I hear that a lot. No, he corrects. You're exactly what you appear to be. That's what's unexpected. I feel the weight of his gaze. This is still temporary. Yes, he agrees. Everything is. But his voice doesn't sound convinced. The 4th week arrives too quickly. The house feels different now. Less like a museum. More like something lived in. He eats more. Talks a little. Asks questions he doesn't write down. What would you do if you weren't here? He asks one night. Open my own place, I say. Small. Quiet. He nods slowly. You like intimacy. I like intention. His gaze lingers. So do I. The final dinner approaches like something we both refuse to name. I cook slowly that night. Deliberately. Every movement careful. Every flavor considered. He watches from the counter, sleeves rolled up. Closer than he's ever been. This is your last night, he says. Yes. And then you leave. Yes. Silence hums between us. You changed my routine, he says quietly. I didn't mean to. I know, he replies. That's why it worked. When the plates are clear, neither of us moves. I won't ask you to stay, he says. I wouldn't agree if you did, I reply. He studies me for a long moment. Then tell me something honest before you go. I meet his gaze. I already did. Every night. Something softens in his expression, just enough to be dangerous. You fed more than my appetite, he says. And you? I ask. He steps closer, stopping just short of touching me. You reminded me I still had one. The air feels charged. Electric. Delicate. This is the moment. The line. A step back. So this is goodbye, I say softly. For now, he replies. The next morning I pack quietly. The house manager waits by the door. As I reach the gate, Adrian's voice stops me. Miss Hart. I turn. There's an envelope, he says. Not a contract. I take it later. On the drive down the hill. Inside is a handwritten note. An address. And one line. When you're ready to cook for yourself again. Let me taste it. I smile despite myself. Because I know now. I was never just his chef. And he was never just hungry. I expect the drive down the hill to feel like release. Instead, it feels like withdrawal. The city grows louder as the estate disappears behind me. But the silence he cultivated inside those walls follows anyway. My hands grip the steering wheel tighter than necessary. I replay the month in fragments, knife against cutting board, the quiet weight of his presence, the way he tasted food like it mattered. Like I mattered. I tell myself this is what I wanted. Temporary. Clean. Uncomplicated. The lie settles uncomfortably in my chest. Days pass. Then a week. I move back into my small apartment, unpack my knives into a kitchen that suddenly feels too loud, too bright. I cook for myself out of habit, but everything tastes flat. Technically perfect. Emotionally empty. I don't reach out. Neither does he. Until one evening a courier arrives. No note. Just a familiar cream-colored envelope. Inside is a single card. Dinner. No expectations. You choose the menu. An address follows, downtown, discreet, unmistakably private. I stare at the card longer than necessary. This isn't a contract. It's an invitation. I arrive 10 minutes late on purpose. A small rebellion. The restaurant is closed to the public, lights low, atmosphere hushed. He's already there, seated at a corner table, posture composed, dark jacket open at the throat. He looks up when he sees me. Not surprised. Relieved. You came, he says. So did you, I reply. Pause stretches between us. Different from before. Less controlled. More honest. I didn't ask you to cook tonight, he says. I know. I wanted to see what you choose, he adds. I chose to show up, I reply. Something softens in his eyes. We eat slowly. He asks questions not about food but about me. Where I want my place to be. What kind of mornings I like. What silence feels safest. He listens the way he always did. Fully. Intentionally. You were never just my chef, he says quietly. And you were never just hungry, I reply. Outside the city hums. Inside the space between us tightens. Not rushed, not reckless. Just inevitable. When we stand to leave, he doesn't reach for me. Instead, he opens the door. Come back to the estate, he says calmly. Not to work. I meet his gaze. On what terms? Your own, he replies. The answer settles into me slowly. I won't belong to you, I say. I wouldn't want you to, he answers. I want you to choose me. The honesty steals my breath. This time when I step closer, he doesn't stop me. His hand lifts, hesitates, then rests at my waist like a question, not a claim. I answer by staying. The kiss is slow, controlled. Everything we held back given permission but not surrendered. When we pull apart, his forehead rests against mine. This isn't temporary, he murmurs. No, I agree softly. It isn't. Later, as I walk back into my own apartment, the city feels different. Not louder, just fuller. Because now I understand what that month was. Not an ending, an invitation. And this time when I cook, I do it with the quiet certainty that someone out there is listening. Not to the food, but to me.